welcome to a exciting edition of Transformers Reviews, a brand new episode. And today we're going to be taking a look at Airazor, a Transformers Collectors Club exclusive. And I have to say, with Beast Wars being my favorite series, Airazor is one of my favorite characters. She was just really kind of cool on the show, and so for them to release this version of Airazor is actually kind of cool, showing, you know, an iteration of what she looked like before the Beast Wars. But one thing I do want to mention is the box art. I really am loving it. They really kind of nailed her face with the artwork here. Kind of a Cybertron landscape. Loving that they used the Beast Wars font. That is awesome. And then she's standing over this generic Predacon that she crushed. So anyway, and I guess it's from 2006. I can't be quite sure. I mean, on the bottom it has the copyright for it and everything. So it's really kind of cool because her bio evidently states that she was a pilot of a crew that did some like black ops stuff for the Maximal government or whatever. But anyway, so aside from that, let's take a look at the actual figure inside the box. And there she is. Now, anybody that had a certain Energon figure will realize what Airazor is. She is a retool and repaint of Energon's Slugslinger. So, you know, normally I don't like to have two of these, but I saw that Airazor was really kind of cheap, and I was like, okay, I know I have Slugslinger already, but it is Airazor, and she's affordable, so why not? Plus, I like to see the differences that they made from the Energon Slugslinger mold to the changes that they made. Because you can look at pictures all day long, but until you actually see it in person or in this video, you won't really be able to do a side-by-side. So anyway, let's take a look and see how they fare up against each other. So looking at these guys together, you can spot the differences, and some of them are really subtle, and I think Airazor has some improvements over Slugslinger. Now, right off the bat, you look at Slugslinger, I'm not a big fan of the green. You know, it's cool, they got that kind of, the teal color in there, but on Airazor I love it a little bit more because it's kind of this goldish bronze color, and then over here on the cannon they actually went and painted that separate, whereas on Slugslinger it's just a solid, you know, the gray molded plastic. As far as the cockpits, I think this green on Airazor, it just stands out really well from this brown. Whereas on Slugslinger, the yellow's okay, but I mean Airazor's color scheme is really starting to win me over. Now overall, I love the aesthetic of the jet on Airazor. Now the fact that she does share something from the Slugslinger mold, and what it is it's the hyper mode, and all it is, I'm just going to be straight honest with you, all it is a means to show you a way to fire this cannon that is shared in robot mode. And what it is you just basically unpeg this and bring these two halves down. That's it. That's the only thing. Now this mold, while it's aesthetically cool in jet mode, it does have its issues. I'm not gonna lie, it does. And on Slugslinger, he's a little bit looser, you know, after being used. Airazor is still stiff for me in the box all those years, so she's holding together well. Well, on Slugslinger, the halves want to sag like this, and you know, it feels really fragile in roll-up mode. Now, like I said, Airazor's not suffering from that because she's kind of like brand new. Now, one issue that this mold does have is it doesn't like to hold together very well. That's why I said it's very fragile. And one of the things on Airazor I'm noticing right off the bat is this canopy is not wanting to stay plugged in up here. Basically, all that holds it in is you've got this little post right here, and it plugs into that. Well, it's unplugging really easy, and it's kind of sagging and stuff like that. So overall, I mean, I really never really cared for this hyper mode. It was really more irritating back in the day than anything. And on Airazor, I really, like I said, its only purpose is to, you know, help you fire this missile. Which, okay, that's cool. I'm glad they gave you the option. but making it this big deal, like, oh, it's a hyper mode, you know. I mean, if you're gonna be making a Beast Wars character out of a mold, make it a cool one. And you know, not, don't get me wrong, I do love this mold, but there's a lot of things wrong with it. And for it to be Airazor, you know, I'm just gonna have to, as I go through this video, we'll just have to see how she holds up with the issues that Slugslinger faces, because I don't believe any of those issues have been solved with the minor retools that they've done to it. Now that aside, you notice on Airazor up here, she's kind of got a smoky deal that will become her robot chest. On Slugslinger, that's where they place the Decepticon emblem. And I've looked in there, there's nothing in there, it's just an empty deal, which, you know, I'm okay with, because on this one where they place the maximal insignia, it becomes very evident in robot mode. So, overall, I know I've really kind of trashed Airazor, but like I keep saying, I dig this robot mode right here, or I'm sorry, vehicle mode. And I mean, for a Cybertronian fighter jet, it's cool. I mean, it's all right. Now one thing is, I don't really care for any of my jet transformers. I guess for display it's cool if it elevates them far enough off the ground, but generally landing gear is not a real big thing for me unless it serves that purpose I just mentioned. But it's identical on Slugslinger. Only difference again is the plastic it was molded out of. So why don't we go ahead and take a look at Airazor's other iterations. So we'll just first off look at her original Beast Wars form. And like I mentioned, you know, as far as choosing this color scheme, for Airazor they hit it dead on, because she's primarily this brown with this yellow. And you know, obviously you're not going to get a color match between these two, but I mean, they're both a brown and yellow. So I mean, bravo for Collector Club, they got it good, they got it right. So you know, and for size they're somewhat comparable. You know, obviously this one's just a tad bit smaller, whereas this mold is a little bit bulkier in robot mode, I know that. And but I mean, overall, I mean, it's pretty cool. I like that. And what's really cool is even on the Transmel Airazor, you can even justify this one's color scheme, because on this one you see she's got browns and stuff and yellows all over and stuff like that. So overall, in size comparison with the Transmel Airazor, if I get my hand out of the way, you can see that Transmel Airazor is pretty much even bigger than this pre-Beast Wars form of hers. But aside from that, that's pretty much everything about this vehicle mode I can say. You see the issue I'm kind of facing, but however, aside from this canopy issue, I do think it is time that we take a look at her in robot mode, and let's see how she stacks up. And here we have this fabulous Maximal in her robot mode. And I have to say, after years of being stuck looking at Slugslinger, it's nice for quite a refreshing change. And I just noticed, and I'm quite shocked, honestly. Okay, I just have to get this out of the way. I'm loving the head sculpt, if it'll focus in there. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. I mean, they did an awesome job on making this Airazor. So one thing I did notice is on her wings, she kind of blows Slugslinger out of the water, because you look at his wings, a lot of this stuff, aside from this piece right here, the rest of it's just the plastic it was molded in. Airazor's got paint apps, I mean, just here and here, and I mean, just overall, I mean, she's killing it. And little details like, say, this on the forearms, again, with Slugslinger, just the molded plastic. I mean, take a look at them. I mean, you can spot the differences. I mean, there may not be that many more. You know, on Slugslinger, his bright colors are going to stand out because he's more out of dark plastic. On Airazor, true, she's got a kind of a darker brown, but a lot of her stuff just tends to pop a little bit more. And overall, her look, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, she pulls it off really well. This mold, I am pleasantly surprised with how awesome she looks in robot mode. I mean, just right now, this is the first time I've transformed her, was for this review. And if I had to pick a mode that I like between this and vehicle mode, you remember how much I said I dig vehicle mode. I'm just absolutely loving robot mode for her. But and it's really weird because with her being new in the box, there, like with the canopy, I don't know what it is with this. It's just this whole leg because it's kind of loose and stuff. So whatever. Let's take a look at her with her other iteration, and obviously a little bit smaller here in robot mode. But again, keeping with the Airazor theme going on, I mean it's cool. But overall, I mean, they look nice together. I mean, if you were going to do, like, say a display with, you know, just every iteration of Airazor, then they don't look bad together. And I kind of get the same vibe here. More so with these two than with the original one here, just because they're both, you know, their wings are a big part of their design and overall look. See, I mean, that doesn't look bad. So, you know, overall, my thoughts on robot mode, aside from color, just aesthetically, I've always liked Slugslinger's design. Now to see it used for Airazor, I mean, I like it even more. You know, just kind of a recap, the figure does have its faults in vehicle mode, but robot mode is very solid. The only thing you might have an issue with is the arms locking in. Now, again, on Airazor, she's basically brand new, but on Slugslinger I've had issues right here where the arm connects into the side of the torso. So just be wary of that if you have any iteration of this mold. But as far as Airazor goes specifically, this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video, is much like the other 2006 members, the Maximal logo is, I mean, I just love seeing that on, you know, these figures and that sort of thing. So anyway, and so that is my review on Transformers Timeline's Airazor. And I did want to mention one thing real quick, is that I did want to apologize to you guys that I've been away for so long. I've had a lot of stuff kind of come up and haven't really had the opportunity to sit down and make a video, but I do appreciate you guys that are subscribed to my channel, or just those of you also that just maybe occasionally watch my videos. So anyway, I hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time for another review. Thanks. Bye.